social scientist, social work perspective. But no, I know it applies to all of us, and it's a lot of what we know. But now he says quite clearly that it's been said that the last mile, in the last mile, we must be prepared to run a different race. The new race will involve moving from large-scale insight towards human decision-making and behavior. Behavioral science helps us to develop practical and contextual relevant solutions which are more likely to be effective. There is a science behind this, is my point, my friends. Let's learn the science. And also, let's learn from you who are in the studio. Let's learn from you in your comments about how you navigate this last mile issue. It's an issue, it's a reality. And I guess this room is a what if room for a reason. What if? What if you pushed on and actually achieved your goal? What if you had dreamt big and changed the world? What if? Why not? I mean, I should have called it "Why not," right? But what if you do? What if you are that person who has a solution that the world needs for that thing? That's what I'm here for. I say a lot of people tend to go away with, "Oh, nah, it's not going to work. What if it goes wrong? What if it goes belly up? What if I can't afford it? What if no one likes it?" No, think the other way. Think, what if I am that person? My solution is that thing that the world needs. Everyone has had these what if moments. Look around you. Everything that you see around you, someone made, right? Someone thought one day about it and they created it. I'm saying we have that potential within us. We all do, to truly create a solution that the world needs. Again, sometimes people would think the what if dream, the big idea, is like flying the space rocket to the moon. It's not. It really isn't. I say someone made the pen in front of me. Someone made the phone in front of me. Someone made my air cooler thing that's keeping me cool, not too hot. My note. Everything was made by someone. What's your big idea? What's your bold idea? How are you going to change the world? Your world, my world, everyone's world. Because we can. That's the premise of this room, and this conversation. So, which is, what's your take on people who fall down in the last mile, my friends? Go on, Zara, please feel free.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Joe, Michael, and Christina. I think when you spoke, Eny, about the last mile and having, when you're within the last mile, we think of it like this. We go from the stage of building to the stage of delivering. And when we're in the stage where we're building, who we surround ourselves with in the last mile is very, very important, because sometimes we forget. It's like running a race. Imagine you're running a marathon and you've worked so hard and you've just got to get to the end result, like, I've done this, I've achieved this, and now I'm here. Therefore, I need to continue. But a lot of people have the problem of, they have all of these beautiful ideas, they've gone through the challenges. The last mile is that push, that struggle to say, I've done so much. I've built myself to this point. Now what? Where do I need to go? Some of us are fortunate enough to meet people in our last mile or in the last mile who will push us. Like I said, when you're running a marathon, those people who are like, you've got this, you go, you continue. People in the last mile have the hugest impact on how you create that change, because a lot of people have the vision. They build, they spend years, they put money in, they do what they need to do. But when it comes to, there's just that little bit left. And that little bit left is that vital point of, I need to, but it's that need. It's transferring that need. I need to have specific people around me. I need to continue to understand my vision. I need to understand the delivery, how I execute, how I execute things, to be able to say, this is my vision. Now let's see it come into reality, so it shows the change that I can see within myself. So the final mile is basically, in my opinion, it is going from the first point to the point of delivery. So That's what I think.
That's there's truth in there, Zara, for sure. It is that initial excitement, and then reality might hit us halfway through, and then towards the end, we do something. We're easily knocked off track. Sean, I'm with you entirely, Sean. Sean says the closer we get to our bold idea, the easier it is to mentally check out. Which is ridiculous. You'd have thought the other way around, Zara. Wouldn't you? You'd have thought towards the end we're getting more excited, but we don't. Maybe sometimes we're exhausted, we're burnt out, but we're not. It's us that. As Sean says, we can assume that the hardest part's behind us, and then so we think, oh, it's gonna happen anyway. I can stop putting the effort in. Of course, I'm all right. You're not all right. I think there's a science to how to make this really work for you, right? How to really make sure that we do take the steps that we need, that we must to deliver. And delivery, Zara, is where it's at. I think the delivery point is both the carrot and the stick. Some people are petrified by that reality that, you know what, all this work you've done, it's time to deliver. And they're like, ah! And then they check out. And then they clock out, call it what you like, literally. Then they lose. I think fear grips them. Fear grips them. Fear and the reality of they won't like it. It's not going to work. How am I going to sell this? And this is not me. I can't do this. Even though you've done it all the way till now, they're starting to tell themselves a whole different story. But we'll come back to the point, Zara. Let's hear what the others have to say. Mr. Cyrus, I do see you. Welcome, Cyrus. Cyrus is on book number 2 as we speak. Branding. Yeah, it's working on it. So we're about to publish that book too. It's a good thing. So look, you have to say it 3 times, Cristiano. Don't be saying it twice, because someone owns a book called Branding. Someone else owns a book called Branding. So Cyrus's book is Branding. It's even put the URL. I tell you. Anyway, we'll come back to that in good time as well. Michael, talk to us. How are you doing? Michael? No, Michael. What's happening? It's not me. I haven't muted you, Michael. I'm sure I haven't.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mr. Obehi. Excellent. I'm glad you can talk now. Welcome, Mr. Obehi. If you haven't seen Obehi's storytelling series for business, do connect with him. It's got a 5-part series for books where it talks about how to tell stories that engage people and get them to buy from you. We'll do a room on business storytelling the first Monday of every week. It could be first Tuesday. It's been moving, right? So welcome, sir. I'm glad you're here. He also runs A-Class Academy, so he does teach people how to tell stories as well. So we've got courses on there on storytelling. And he talks a lot about the African diaspora. That's us, Zara, Christian, Michael. That's all of us, right?
Including you, Eny. Yeah.
I said it was me, but I am British.
No, you're diaspora.
Eny, you're Nigerian.
I am British. I got a British passport. My son was asking what's a Nigerian passport. I said to him, when I was younger, I had a dual nationality, but I got rid of the Nigerian one and became British. So you can't.
You threw it over your shoulder, did you? Well done, you.
I dug a hole and I left it there, right? Michael.
Yeah, you need a T-shirt that says I'm British.
No, it needs one that says I'm Nigerian.
No, I can't go anywhere with that one. I can't go anywhere. I won't be able to travel the world. My son was having the same conversation with me a couple of days ago. I was like, no, I didn't
have a little dainty teacup and a little a crumpet, just at all times.
I could do that for you if you want. I can put my teacup properly.
Just like a granny teacup.
Yeah, my finger pointing the right way. Yeah, we've got that. Let's stop it. We're getting distracted, right? Who's that's probably Dr. Yvonne. Dr. Yvonne, join us in the studio. So I'm lucky to meet this legend the other day. Dr. Yvonne's amazing. You get to meet her. So you know me.
Which Dr. Yvonne is that? Is that Yvonne Thompson, Dr. Yvonne Thompson, or different Dr. Yvonne?
No. That's what
That's a different Dr. Yvonne.
yes, the Smith
Yes.
C. So this one. Now she does stuff in. She supports businesses or startups in Africa as well. So
Okay.
I'm always excited. She's in the US. So I'm meeting her again on Thursday. So we're gonna hatch a plan to bring Dr. Yvonne to the world. That's my dream. Anyway,
Awesome.
thank you so much. So let's go back to Michael. Michael, what's your take on this topic of ours?
Okay, the take on this topic is it's all about limits.
Explain to us.
Humans, we all live with limits. I mean, we keep limits on ourselves all the time. And the reality is that there are no limits. There are no limits. And so as a result, because of the fact that we always expect limits, we function in such a manner that when we reach or approach one, we tend to relax. We tend to become complacent. We tend to not imbue so much effort into getting to the destination quickly or anything of that nature. We just withdraw, as what you call it, Zara was saying, and also the other gentleman as well, the one that Eny mentioned. But that means that we have to create a mind shift for ourselves, a mindset shift. I always say that there is no such thing as a limit when you reach heaven. You reach heaven, what you need to do is you need to go beyond heaven. You can't just stay right there, because otherwise, what's the point? You reach heaven, then what? Then what? There's got to be more. So go beyond. And that's the whole point of our reality. That's the whole point of a human being. That's the whole point of why we're here. We need to go beyond our current reality. We need to go beyond whatever it is, limits that we put upon ourselves. So what Eny is observing is that for some reason or another, or even the other gentleman who he mentioned that has a book that has written all about this thing, the psychology, human psychology, we tend to restrict ourselves because we find everything that we're looking at, we think is a limit. It is not a limit. It is something that we observe, something that we live in. What we need to do is grasp a way of going beyond whatever limits we put upon ourselves, because that is the only way we shall surpass ourselves and improve ourselves, is by going beyond. We do this practically all the time. All the time, we're always going beyond, reaching new heights. But then when you reach a certain plateau, that you think is the plateau. And the reality is that that's not the plateau. You need to go beyond it, beyond your limits. So that's the reason why I believe most of the people, that's why I believe Eny is having this conversation, is to imbue that within you. Anyway.
It's true. Look, I say, it's a mindset thing, and it is we relax too soon, maybe, right? We stop and relax. We think we're done. We think we are there. We think we've done all the hard work, as Sean said earlier. But literally, I think we have to find the way to focus on the prize and then move on to actually focus on the prize and actually get to get to the destination. Is not the creating, it's the point. We think the creating is the destination. That's a problem. We think me creating this service, this solution, this thing that I'm going to do for you that's a goal, that's a task. It's not. That's the point, Mark. And I think you hit the nail on the head. We need to have a mindset shift to realize what the goal really is. And once we realize what the goal really is, our mindset changes. Everything changes. What we do changes. How we approach this issue changes. The last mile becomes an exciting journey. It becomes the moment that we're truly been working, the moment that we can be our best selves, the moment that we can truly capture the impact of our solution. You know, this excites me so much. It really does. I know what I'm thinking, and I'll share it with you, in a few minutes, I'm sure. But literally, now this is the part where we need to enjoy it the most. Because when we do, it gives us that motivation to go the extra mile. There's something that we need to think about in all of this. It ties in what Zara was saying. We have to think about something else apart from ourselves. You know, something else apart from the problems, apart from the journey so far. You know, the Holy Grail is before us. We're nearly there. Nearly. Don't stop now. Which means so many people do stop now. That's a problem, right? Mrs. Zara, I see you. I haven't seen you for a while, so I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll come to you in good time. My screen keeps moving forwards and backwards. Let's do a few more comments.
So the last mile is a mile of so many miles.
Yeah.
For the last mile, there are more miles to come along.
The last yards, last 100 yards is equally bad.
There you go. It's infinite.
It really is.
There is the universe is ever. We keep on saying that the universe is always expanding. Of course, it's expanding. There's no limit to how far it can expand. So you do the same. Don't reach the last mile and think that's your last mile. It's not.
So look,
you're still living, and so you've still got more to go. So go.
Yeah. There is something about when you create your solution is when the game really begins. And but we know that. This is a problem. We know this, and some people get petrified to a standstill. And some will just slowly disengage when they realize the reality, when they realize the magnitude of what could be and what's coming. Look, I'm waffling, but I want to get to the solution very quickly. And I still got a few bits to go. Sarah says, the next poor guy has to put, next poor guy is buggers. The one who has to call his books branding. Damn. Hopefully it's more creative than that, Sarah. So that's what I'll say, right? So Michael's brother. Michael's a genius at asking questions. I wish I had this man's talent. He creates questions in a way that he has people giving you whatever you want half the time, right? So do connect with him for sure. Yes. Thank you, Michael. I'm still British. It's my friends who have a problem with that. I'm happy with him. My wife says I'm the whitest, or essentially most British person she knows. I am. So I do British. I'm telling Zara yesterday, I am the most British person that anyone will ever meet. So I am that person. I'm super British, and I behave as such. Selena, welcome. How you doing, super author? So Selena and I are working on our health anthology that Michael, I know, is working so hard to write his story in at the moment. So we're writing how you survived life-limiting illnesses. That's what I want to write about. So it's coming along. Again, this last mile issue could be one of our problems, but it's not really. And I've got other things to do right now. So. If you know, please, LinkedIn user, put your name next to your comments. I know Dr. Yvonne's here. I know Christiana's here. So, I don't know what to say. I will know who you are otherwise. I'm going to come to you next, Christiana. So, over he says, ha, greetings to you, my British friends. Well, I love my Nigerian thing. So do I. I love Nigerian food. More than crumpets that someone mentioned earlier. I think it was Jonah mentioned crumpets. But I do love my scones. I love scones. And I love Cornish pasties. If you... Cornish...
A biscuit.
If you say a Cornish pasty is the greatest thing ever. When I leave my house to go up country, when I come to see you next week, Zara, I buy Cornish pasties. I can't not have Cornish pasties. I love it's like only we make them here. If you see a Cornish pasty where you live, my friends, it's not the real thing. If you see it from Greg's to Baker, it's interesting. us Cornish people were like, what the hell is that? It's not Cornish pasty. Anyway. Christiana, that's right. I brought Christiana a few Cornish pasties on my journey. Didn't I, Christiana?
Zara, I can promise you that Eny will bring you. In fact, Eny is not British. Eny is Cornish. Let's just correct that. He's not British. He is Cornish. Okay, first of all, and he will bring you the biggest, the most juiciest Cornish pasty that weighs more than your whole head put together. So, that's a promise he can promise the truth. He will bring it to you, and he will deliver it to you with such pride.
I tell you, they're a thing to die for, right? They really are.
Oh, by the way, Eny, I ate both of them, by the way, just so you know.
It's good, good on you. Good on you. If the man didn't want it, then we'll just look at him and say, oh, well, all right, I'll have it. We don't argue about who's going to eat the pasties. As long as I get to eat them, I'm all right. So Michael says that there are metaphysical forces that would have you believe it's scarcity. No, it's true. It's true. Look, let's not now say as we go towards the end of our long journey. Say most of us have spent all our money, all our dreams, all our energy, all our hopes. And so by the end, we can be at the end of what we can afford. So we think. But it's a reality, right? Dr. Yvonne, I've sent the link to your DM, I think. I've sent the link to your DM. I'll send it again now. So just click on the link I'm going to send. For anyone else who's wondering, so here's the StreamYard link. If you want to join the studio, please do. If you're taking it from the comments here, then you're going to have to copy and paste into your browser. But if I send it to your LinkedIn DM, all you got to do is just click on it, and then you'll be here with us. So anyway, Cristiano, what's your thoughts? What can we learn from you, about this last mile issue? Have you seen it? Do you have a solution?
I have. Okay, so before I begin, I'm just going to say hello to everybody. Hello to all currently in the studio. Hi, Cyrus. Hi, Obihi. I have not seen or spoken with you for God knows how long. I can't even tell you. Hi, Joanie. Hi, Zara. Michael. Great perspective. So, Eny, great topic, great questions as usual. What I'm going to say about this is the first thing to think is, as human beings, we have between 12 to 60,000 negative thoughts a day. And therefore, the idea of that last mile, when you think about what research does tell us, is inevitable, right, to begin with. And so in thinking, as Zara was talking, I said to myself, I take on the point that she made. It's quite true. The people you surround yourself with, whether right at the start from creation to end, but in particular at the end, is really important. The reason being, number one, life happens, and as everybody was giving their perspectives, speaking and giving this perspective, I was just thinking about just life in general. So we might think there's a science to the last mile and why people become, as I guess, discouraged or fearful, and indeed, I won't say reluctant. Reluctant is not the right word. Neither complacent. I think sometimes it's knowing how to end or what to put, or the view you began with isn't something that you want to end with, or the ending you thought you were going to have on that book that you're writing may change in the process of going through that writing journey to begin with. I mean, many reasons, but the one I really wanted to focus on for us to think about is when life actually does happen. So when life happens, you could be in the middle of writing a book and you lose a loved one, or you might have, in my case, you might have a miscarriage, or you might have something that is quite significant in your life, to the point that you're at the point of writing a book and something happens that could literally break you. having the right people around you really helps you. And that's why I like what Zara said. Because no matter what happens, we all need that person or those people in our corner that will cheer us on, that will help us to get past that mile. Now, when it comes to the mile itself, you really have to ask yourself, what's the reason for that mile? Do we have writer's block, as they call it? Is it because we are on this journey of, we've written the book now, we're nearly here, and we don't know what else to put down, or we're not sure how to indeed end that book? In that case, do we have anybody that could help us with, becoming a sounding board? Do we have those friends, those support networks in place that can support us to do so? Because that's, one good way of moving forward and achieving that final destination of writing that book. The other thing as well is, where we were writing that book, where you began writing that book from, are you in the same space? Do you have access to that same space that gives you the peace of mind, the thinking time, the thinking space to be able to finish or complete that last mile? And sometimes for some, it's really difficult to do so because, like I said, life does happen. And when life is happening, life is life. And as people, so like to say, is, are you in the right place? Are you in the right mindset to complete that book? And if all the things around you or the resources around you are pointing to a no, negativities, how do you pluck yourself? How do you pick up yourself and move forward? And the one thing I can definitely say is, number one, is having the right people around you. Number two is looking at the space in which you are occupying in that moment. Is it the right space for you? Are you in the right headspace? Number one. Number two, are you in the right physical space that allows you to channel your thoughts and to remind yourself why you began the book, to how you want to end that book? And if you're not, what you're going to do about it? Can you find the right space? I'll give you an example. Somebody was writing a book many years ago, and they just couldn't get themselves to finish the last mile. And the suggestion was to leave their home, which they had to do, go to a hotel, which is a quiet, tranquil space in the daytime, to write, and to not just write the book, just to go away and just have a time to relax and allow the body to relax, the mind to relax, and think of nothing. Don't even think about the book, just so that you're at a good, positive space, positive headspace too, to then return to writing the book. And don't get me wrong, for some it takes a day, for others it may take a couple of days, a couple of weeks to get back into writing and finishing that book.
For some it takes 30 years, Christian.
I was trying to be kind, Eny. So it's really about thinking, one, where's my mind at? Why did I start this? What was the purpose? And also, you may also be experiencing, and for some, they are experiencing how they finish that book. So they could still be going through parts of what becomes the end of that book, right? Again, I'll reiterate, is having the right people around to ensure, to help you, to support you, to be able to complete that book. Having those that you trust. And when I say the right people, it's those that will challenge you, those that will not be the yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. They will challenge you. Those are good people around you. They will challenge your mindset. They will challenge your thought process. They will challenge, as Michael put it, your complacency, if that is the case. I'm not speaking of that there, but if that's the case, they will challenge all of those things, whether it's a book coach, whether it's a close friend, whether it's somebody that's gone through it. Ideally, somebody who has experienced, what you're trying to achieve is even better if you can. Not all can do that, but if you can, then even better for you. So there are so many reasons why. I think for me, one of the biggest reasons I have seen in my experience, and having done book editing previously and legal editing previously, people get to a point where life is happening and they really struggle to pick themselves up and move forward, especially when there's been bereavements, or there's been real setbacks, emotional trauma, and so on and so forth, that sets them back. Like I said, it's a mindset thing, but it's also getting people around you that really can pull you back out of wherever you are. But anyway, thank you so much, Eny, for the opportunity to share my.
Thank you. Thank you for sure, Christiana. So Michael's Michael's agreeing with you for sure. It says in Michael's poetic way. The man's a genius at writing. They said, "I fly free. I wait with open mind, mouth closed, as images form and fall upon the page." I guess if your bold ideas, writing your book, right? So men can chain me, they can beat me down, throw me in a cage of their own design and choosing, but I fly free. My mind, my soul, my choice cannot be bound. That's poetry, right? Now that's what you're saying, Christian, right? Of course, I know you gave us a few, many things there. And I think, and Michael says, one of the things you said very well, which is fear is it's a mind killer. It really is. Fear can hold us down in a way that is ridiculously powerful. But that's the life we live. I say the solutions I'll take. I say I know your why, of course. So the relax, as you and Michael are agreeing on, and have the right support around you. Maybe the first step is name the problem, Christian, that's stopping you to take that last step. Now, what is a problem? So I think that there's different issues. A practical problem is what it can be something, right? I'm saying, but if the issue is, I'm just wasting time, I'm scared, I need more help. I say if you don't name the issue, then you can't find the right solution, can you? Let's learn to name the problem that we think we have. But I think the solution is simpler than it looks. But it does take in what you're saying. And I say that because I know I'm going to get to the point where I say to you, I agree with Christiana when she says find people who will challenge you, for sure. The people that you want to find, they have to challenge you. This takes us back to Michael's point. Your destination is not your destination. You think it is, but it's not. There's many more places that you need to get to before you get anywhere near the end of the road, so to speak. That's the genius of this conversation. Doctor, or dentist. I'm trying to call you doctor. I just can't call you Dr. Ivy. That just doesn't rhyme with me. Dentists, I'm glad you're here. If you haven't seen Dentist's book, this is one of her books. Mummy, What is Tooth Decay? She's a dentist. No surprise there, right? I think the other book that I'm waiting for my approved copy. Hopefully it will come soon. There's the second book, and then there's a poetry book coming after. So the second book's about work, positive work balance. I like how it's not called work life, because I don't think you can have balance. It's you have to put the effort in, right? Where you have to find the place of happiness that won't kill you, that won't destroy you, as a person, and destroy your wellness. Really, that's what the second book's all about. So do connect with dentists, and you will find some gems in there. There's strategies how to manage different parts of your life, hobbies, time, relationships. I could go on, but connect with dentists. When the book comes, I'm sure we'll let you know all about it. But it is available on Amazon as we speak as an ebook. The print book excites me, so I'm waiting for my print copy to arrive. Sean, welcome on stage. I do see you. I'll come to you in good time. So Daniel, him and the brother, they talk text and software. So I'm glad you're here. Joanie, Daniel asked, are you eating a cookie or biscuit? Again, that's such a dodgy question, right? What's the answer? Is it a biscuit or a cookie?
It was a cookie. It was Pepperidge Farm. Yeah.
Okay.
But I was trying to.
There's big cookies. I like it. The kids get to buy.
I love a British, biscuit cookie that's not too sweet. I love them. So, do not take my fondness for other cookies in the wrong way. All right.
Yeah. So give me a second. I'll come right to you. I agree with you. We're having some juicy cookies. It makes a difference what it is. A biscuit is not a cookie, right? I don't eat most biscuits.
Right. I have some good points for everyone.
You get to share them all, Joanie. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm going to before these college boys show up.
Give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds, and I'll be with you. Dr. Roxana's driving. She's here, but she can't come on stage. I get that. Dr. Yvonne, I have sent you the link to your LinkedIn DM. So please do click on the link on the StreamYard link and do join us if you can. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Cyrus, didn't I mention Cornish pasty, Cyrus? Are you sure I didn't mention Cornish pasty? I'm sure I did, right? Anyway, I'm not going back there again. I get too hungry. Michael, go and watch the replay. you can see my whole waxing lyrical and religious lyric about Cornish pasties. There's only one type of Cornish pasty. It's made in Cornwall. Sorry, peeps. I'm just saying hashtag, right? And as Michael says, the last mile is largely in your head. Do what marathoners do. Push through the wall, or conversely, live in the present. I like that, Michael. Live in the present for sure. It's a near-death experience, a wonderfully delicious wake-up calls to live with intention and intention in the present. I agree. There's truth there. Now, I think we can simplify the thoughts, Michael. I think we can simplify, it can simplify how we're doing what we're going to do, right? So, Michael says it almost always boils down to fear, at least for most of us, it's a fear thing. Please, Dr. Yvonne, I think she says, Eny, I believe that you hit the point in the beginning. So to Michael. So to Mr. Michael. So mindset, intentions. I agree. There's something there, right? And you also mentioned balance in energy is what we need. I agree now. We need to turn it up. It's not just balance. We need to turn it up again. Because when we think we're at the end, it's when we're really at the beginning. This is a point, right? That's when we need to turn it up and go again in a big, big way, like never before. There is stimulus to help us, my friends. I'll get to that in a second. Joanie, the mic is yours. Share with us your thoughts on the last mile and the strategies to overcome them, please.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I went to tell Michael that during one of my meditations, I tried your flying technique. It did not work. There was no flying. So I think I still need to get to the, that door and what the matrix, as we were talking about.
Try that. Explain. Go on, break that down, please, and if you can, in a few minutes. Tell us what you mean.
But Michael could break it down better. I was like, you can levitate. No, there's no levitating. Anyways, and then also I wanted to tell you that one of my best friends here, he is British, but came over when he was about 10. But his father is very British. And he had told me one of his parts of his last meal was Yorkshire pudding, which I have no idea what the heck that is. So I looked that up. It's the easiest thing to make in the whole world. I'm like, bro, I'll make this for you anytime. Like, okay. And so I don't know if that's something that you guys enjoy. And so anyways, going on, I like the point about the marathon because really the cheering at the end, it really pumps you on, even if you're doing a 5K, which is basically all I've accomplished, or if you're climbing to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro and you are just dead and someone helps you, gives you a little hand. So that essentially comes back to my point on collaboration, where creative genius is one thing, but there is so many other people that can complement that to make your idea come to fruition. And I also really liked Christina's point about you start a book and then, oh my goodness, it's taking forever to maybe get published or whatever, and life changes. And so certainly that happened to me in my memoir, not necessarily in a good way, but I have so many more pieces to my puzzle that I would love to include in my memoir. So it's challenging when you feel like something's completed and then your view on the reality of it changes as you grow with life, as everything does. So one more point that I was going to make. Oh, okay. So there's so many people. This is a amazing idea that is not mine, but I listened to someone present this idea, and I know so many people here are coaches or possibly want to be coaches, and I'll be your friend, but I'm not a coach. But I did listen to this thing for therapists and for coaches that incorporates VR or virtual reality into therapeutic help. And I think it's just the coolest idea ever. And there has to be some seminars out there to, get some certification on that. And that could be really monumental. And thinking about how many people fit into that part of a puzzle to help with mental health is pretty astounding. So, if you have a great idea, don't think that you're alone. Get your patent first and then tell people. And don't be a pussy. But no, just kidding.
There's a lot there for sure. There's a lot there for sure. Right?
It's a cool idea, and so it's not.
I will take the solutions that you gave, and the two that I take is collaboration. That's an important one. I think that's part of the solution to get to the end. To get to our broad idea. Someone's trying to join the room. No, if you're trying to join the stage, please give us a minute. Say I can only have 10 people in the studio, so when someone comes off, falls off the room, then I'll bring you in the studio and bring you on stage for sure. I don't know who's left. Someone's just left, so now it's time to join. Dr. Roxana, where have you gone? Anyway, we lost you. Dr. Yvonne, you're here. I will come to you. Give me some time. So I need to get to know Zara. The other one I'll take, Joanie, is your VR idea. Your VR idea is
that just I heard about it on a news broadcast type thing, podcast, and so it's just a really interesting idea for coaches to diversify themselves.
Oh, I think it's for everyone. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
I'll explain why in good time. It's for everyone.
Okay.
That's the answer.
I think it's cool. So if anyone's just curious, I'm always curious all the time. So I love learning about new things, and that's kind of part of my creativity is that I really love learning about new things, and it really doesn't matter. I love getting to know new humans. But sometimes it's hard for me to focus in on just one thing. And and some people are really good at that. And, for instance, in college, I was not a procrastinator because I wanted to get that paper done and then go out and do something else. I wanted to go out and play, whatever, frisbee golf, or go see this play, or go out with friends to a pub. And so I was not a procrastinator, but that has its downfalls too. And, some people who are perfectionists and have this amazing idea, the fear is definitely true. It's just it's right here and it clenches you. And it's I don't want to let this go if it's not perfect. And I'm definitely not a perfectionist. That's it.
It's part of the problem that this last mile problem. Whether it's perfectionism, whether it's being laissez-faire, it's the same issue, right? We're threatening to derail ourselves just as we get towards the end for whatever reason. We need to stop doing that, right? Dr. Roxana, I'm so sorry you were here. You can come back. We do want to.
Yes, let someone else on this stage.
So let me give the mic to Dr. Yvonne. Gentlemen, that's Zara and Mr. Cyrus and William. Let me give the mic to Dr. Yvonne because I think she's on the moves, and I don't want to fall off the stage. How are you doing, Dr. Yvonne? Talk to me.
Hello,
Hello, everyone. Hello, Eny. How are you?
Right. This is legend. I told you all about. You get to meet her properly sooner or later, right? But she is that person who has solutions that we all need to learn from.
You're
Word for
so
word.
sweet. But the one thing I wanted to add, and I think that I believe that we're kind of overlooking it. And when you talk about going that extra mile or over that mile, everyone has been focused in on the 3D. And while we are living in the 3D, and while dimensional travel is something that a lot of us try very hard not to either think about, or we perceive it as something so far out there that it's not reachable. But indeed it is, because you see that extra mile is that goddess in you, that God in you, that energy in you, that flow in you, that you can achieve it because it's written that way. And if it's written that way and you believe that way, it's that whole that whole thing that they were saying: believe, perceive, receive. That's not fake, that's not phony, and that's nothing to be taken lightly. So we have to look at that extra mile. Yes, it's a matter of mindfulness, yes, it's a matter of intention, but that extra mile is like that extra chakra that is higher than the crown. And um, Malcolm and I talked about that actually in one of our conversations, which I'm so over the moon that I was able to make that connection. But we have to remember, not everything that you see or that you do is something that's tangible. So that ability to go beyond anything, it's kind of like the mother that finds the strength of 10 men when she knows she has to defend her baby. It is the same concept that makes you go that extra mile to accomplish whatever it is you've set the intention to accomplish. So that's me in a nutshell. That's what I'm taking from this conversation. And with that thought, we then understand that there is an evolutionary process in that as well. And in the evolutionary process, that means that we change. And in change, we then surrender everything that is expected, and we deal with what's in front of us and how it's going to be able to change so that we can move forward and achieve that extra mile. It's just a thought. Make
So that,
sense?
yeah, that it makes perfect sense. It is genius as well. It is. Everything you say, I'll take. It is a question of, do you believe? And that's when the question then becomes up to Yvonne. Believe in what? Do I believe I can do it? Is one question. Do I believe is for me to this is me? Are you with me? Do I believe that this really is my destiny? Do I believe they will love it? I think is another type of do I believe, right? Like, do I believe the customers I'm here to serve, the people I want to serve, really will embrace my solution and actually and take it on and actually use it? I think that if we lose belief in any of those areas, we're done. We fall victim to, like all the other people who fall down and congest the last mile. And we have to truly believe in ourselves that we can.
Well, that's a valid point. Do you believe? So it's kind of like I'll do a parallel here. So it's kind of like when you're in a organized religion, a church, right? Um, which I no longer am a part of, but you're in an organized religion, you're in a church, and in that church they tell you, you know oh, Christianity or whatever the religion is, you have to have faith, you can't touch it, it's a feeling, it's the knowledge that you are told that this thing is tangible with the untangible, which is belief, right? Well, here's the thing: if we are not sure of ourselves, right, how then
can we
Ah.
move forward? Yes, we can question ourselves. Yes, we can have doubt. All right, because that's normal. We're human, right? We're living in the human condition. But that superpower that everybody has, see, everyone has a different superpower. It's recognizing that superpower within yourself. And yes, you're going to have questions, you're going to have doubts, you're going to have the failing points, which we talked about before, failing up, right? So you don't stop. Belief is a patterned system. It is a patterned system that is told to us on how it works. But when you truly understand, you know what, this is my destiny. I'm not going to be a Ruth, and I'm not going to say, you're not working fast enough. You're not working fast enough, universe. So I'm going to make it happen. And then you end up, what? Maybe failing up or not getting exactly what you think you should have, right? So, in that case, you develop your own belief system, your own interconnectedness that allows you to see that extra mile, believe that extra mile, and not take from everyone else what you should be or how you should feel or what you should even answer to. All of that then becomes internalized. So, yes, your belief system is based on you, not external entities or cultural divides or conceptions.
I tell you,
Just my thought.
no, I listen and I learn, right? That's look. That I agree with you 99%. I think there is a group of people that you must listen to on this final mark. This is my solution for everyone, right? I'm saying there is a group of people that you can't ignore, and we ignore them all the way through the process. This is the problem, right? That those people, they are the customers that you are here to serve. I say they're the ones. Their views matter. Is my point. I'm not saying they matter above all. I'm saying their views matter, right? If I'm creating something for, let's say I'm writing now. Let's use I know the book analogy well, right? I'm saying I have to be willing to listen to my readers. That's why we do it. That's why we have editors. That's why I proofreaders, right? Because someone's got to read the book and say, right, this might need changing. This is why I come back to your points, Dr. Eva, about change. We're willing to change as we get towards the end. Once we're willing to change, that comes about how much we believe in ourselves. And now it's a whole. It has to work together, right? I'm with you, and I'm with you completely, Aaron. So let me hear a couple more.
I truly think that is perfect. But the question was, what is it going to take you to get over that extra mile? But
Yeah.
yes, you definitely have to listen to others because nobody is a know-it-all. And how are you going to grow if you don't listen to others? One of the biggest things about a really great leader is that he also or she also knows when to follow. And with that, I will. I'm driving, so
Yeah.
So you're very right. So I totally agree with that.
And I
Yes.
thank you for gracing us with your time and presence. I can't wait for us to meet again on Thursday and see what we create for our friends here. Now, but look, I'm totally with you. It can sound like if I believe, if I ask my customers, then that's easy. Most people struggle with that part because now they're suddenly opening themselves up to feedback, to changes, and unless we believe in ourselves, the way you're describing, Dr. Yvonne, we're not going to make those changes. And we're able to. We might get to the end, but as Michael says, that's not the end, right? The end has to be impacting people with our solution. That's the real end. When people start adopting our solution, when they start paying, maybe when they start paying us, call it what you like. I'm saying the same thing, right? When they adopt our solution and start using our solution, our bold idea, That's towards the end of our journey. So we see, but I'm showing you now, everyone who's here, who's heard me all the way through, you're getting the idea. I'm saying, there's another end to the end, as Michael explained so beautifully, right? But we must take those extra steps to actually complete the journey, and many people don't. I'll say, Dr. Yvonne, thank you so much. I will come back to the points that you've all made so beautifully, all of you. No, I'm not going. Dr. Yvonne's going, it's not me. Don't go end the present end now, right? Michael says, no, that's intense. Dr. Yvonne. I need elaboration. Yeah, no. Hopefully you get the message for sure, Mr. Michael. Omar says, Eny is a great leader. Leave me alone. I only work because of you, my friends who are in the studio sharing with us. My comments feed is all moving up and down. I don't know where I'm going next. So now Michael says, I'm living in my destiny. My customers will appear. They may do, but what if we could attract them before the end, Michael? That's the answer, partly. Let me stop talking. Let's hear from all of those on stage, please, and then actually we can begin to. We're not wrapping up really. Sean, please be patient. William, please be patient because we do have a lot. Noni Pepperoni, so glad you're here. So glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't been to Noni's room, sing your heart out. It's on Friday nights. I think it's 9 p.m. your time in the US. I don't know. I think that's EST, I think. So do join her. If you like singing, then definitely join. If you can do poetry, she'll let you go on stage as well and do poetry. And you can. I've never spoken in Noni's room, right? I've spoken once. I've never sang. Don't look at me. I'll never sing. Which reminds me, Dr. Lisa is here as well. Welcome, superstar Lisa. I press the wrong button as I always do, right? A bit late, so your internet's back. That gives me joy. Of course, Lisa is our menopause dietitian genius doctor. But she won't have it. She won't have it. She's gonna tell me off in a second. But she's that menopause genius. Do connect with her. Come to our rooms on Tuesday. Right, so Zara, Cyrus, and then I'm going to go to Sean, then I'm going to come to you, William. That's the order. So please be patient. Now those who are speaking, come on, hurry up. Say it quick. How you doing, Zara? It's been a minute, as Cristiano would say. Please unmute. Unmute first.
That's me, right?
Yes, that's you, my friend. How are you doing? It's been a while, right?
I'm doing good. Eny, I really like how Dr. Ebbott said about that when a mother has to save her children from everything, like when the children are in the problems, so the mothers have to take those bold steps. Likewise, your own idea. Some people, they said fear. Some said doubts. You also said that, to remember your whys. Fear, I think, face everything and rise, or face everything, you'll run. So it's your personal choice. And plus that training that you've been receiving from people around you. Again, the collaborations John said, and the mentorship or the coaching. And now somebody said earlier about active listening here. What happens when you're active listening, everybody, that hypothalamus, that chemical that kicks in your brain, activates, and you start listening people. So everybody here, they already said everything that should be contributed here, that should be consumed to everybody there in the audience on this stage. And I really love those points of when doctor said that when it's on you, that your own goal, your own bold idea, when it's on your own self, that you have to come up, you have to show up, then yes, you have to. Do you remember that movie, 8 Miles? I'm going to recommend another movie That's an Indian movie. Mukaddar Ka Sikandar. It's on a cycle race, like how in the end Amir Khan is like, because he has got those deja vus coming in his head, illusions, that if he is going to fail in this cycle race, everybody is going to be disappointed. So that passion, that purpose, that everything that is behind him is giving him an extra mile.
Yeah.
That's a little share.
Yeah, no, it's again, there is a lot there, my friend. I think, it's about the people. That's the important thing, so right? It's about the people, right? And the people, is how do you use them to fuel your journey? So we can see the people as either a burden or fuel. And that's the answer to this question, really. Now, which people are you gonna involve to really help you journey or to hold you back? Now, take your pick. So, Michael, thank you so much. I love your comments. I will respond to some of them, after the event. But thank you for joining us. Do connect with Michael in the comment. Go to comment section after the event on the event page and connect with people with whom you resonate. Right. Michael B, he says you talk a lot, Eny. I'm glad you're not driving, considering what I've heard about your driving record. My driving record is quite good. Well, unless I need a new car, and people tend to crash into the back of me accidentally. I don't know. I've never crashed into them. They crash into me, right? And I get to get a new car. Don't blame me, Michael. I said the other Michael, the blunt says the end will arrive in its time. Yes, no, we can hope for that, or we can push it forward with people, as Zara says. No, the right people will help us along. I think is it Cyrus next, or is it Michael Sean? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's Sean. I don't know. Sean, you go for it. Let me be kind. How are you doing, Sean? You have to unmute first. Yeah, you're unmuted.
Yeah, had to hit the right button.
Yeah,
I'm doing well, Eny.
Thanks for joining us. I joined your show yesterday. Interesting, and now I know you have a co-host, a conversational format. But we got a lot of questions in the chat. I saw that.
Yes. It was a good live stream. But I jumped up on stage because I wanted to speak to something Christiana said. She talked about the person that went away to the hotel for, whether a day or multiple days. That's actually a it's a psychological thing, that if you stop pressing for a second, often when we're working towards a goal like this, and like you said, in the last mile, we've been pushing hard and we hit the wall. And pushing harder against the wall won't help, but taking a step away, I've always found in my own experience, when I used to troubleshoot complex systems and I'd be trying and like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? And if I took a break and stepped away, suddenly ideas came in my mind, the creative solutions. And that also leads to another belief. You had mentioned before, Eny, about we often overthink it, we overcomplicate it. I have a simple saying: it's always something simple. We get complicated, we start looking for something more instead of just looking at the simple option. But on this last mile, I love the way, if anyone's read The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, excellent book, I highly recommend it. He called it resistance, right? It doesn't want you to win. It doesn't want you to reach the end. In the end, in that last mile, it can show up as over perfection. You start to doubt the value of the project. We go, oh, just one last tweak, which then brings us to paralysis, where we get stuck. And then couple that with the lack of support often we might feel. You guys all, I heard several people talked about community, Dr. Yvonne, Dr. Christiana, you know, having a support team that's got your back no matter what. Because often in the beginning, you'll have a crowd, you know, you get 10 miles down the trip, you start to have less. You hit 20 mile 25 or whatever, you tend to have crickets. So you either got to have those strong supporters who have got you all the way to the end, or applaud yourself, right? Ask yourself, if no one ever validated my work, would I still be proud of finishing it? And as Roy always say, I end my mic there.
Beautifully said. Now, when you went off, I was a bit concerned for a second. I thought, I don't know. You know, it's fallen off now, but you know, great share there, Sean. You know, I think the doubts is a problem. The doubts, the questions, we know, we torture ourselves. That's what we want. Now, we need to find a solution to that torture. You know, it's not easy for many people. Now, yes, you can find it. Of course, you can find peace by, you know, stepping away, as you and Christiana put it, right? And that takes some time to really to think, to feel. You know, it's a solution. You know, so let's hear what's up, more people say. No,
And
but
can
I mean, it ties in what Dr. Yvonne was saying. If you don't be your greatest supporter, if you don't believe in you, you're doomed. No, we're doomed, right? And we have to be our greatest support along the journey. Of course, having the support network also helps. Zara, please, what do you share? Like, Christian, one second.
I was thinking. Sorry.
Go on, Zara.
Like we all believe in God, right? So why not, like, maybe that bold idea is ahead of time? Maybe yes, it's ahead of time, and God has decided to be completed maybe later. And we, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear you. You know, it may not be the right time. I hear you. I think that is a question that we often ask ourselves. You know, again, I think there's a solution. There's an answer to that question, Zara. I think we can find the answer easily. I'll come to that in a second. So, William, patience. You know, let's talk to Cyrus, and we'll come to you, my friend. Cyrus, what say you? Interesting solution so far. Interesting topic. Interesting additions by everyone. What do you want to add to the conversation, my friend? Mr. Cyrus, you know, we can't hear you. Unmute, Cyrus. Unmute. I can't unmute you, I don't think. No, because you muted yourself. Cyrus, where are you? Oh, we lost Luna. Cyrus is here, but not here. William, there you go. Your time is now. How are you, my international best-selling friend?
I'm so good. Thank you so much. I'm so well. Just tired.
Yeah, the last mile, my friend. The last mile of everything.
I actually came here today. I'm here to share. I just want to share the topic and the discussion, right? So this year, January, I had a goal. I had a goal to organize my first annual event, No Human is Useless, in person in Ghana. And then when I had that goal, man, it was really hitting me hard from within that William do this.
You might have to refresh your screen and try again with him. You know, we've lost your movement and your sound. What can we do? Nothing I can do about it for now. Christiana. Sorry, I forgot about you. Maybe that's a God saying, listen to Christiana. It's hard to do.
Hi, Eny. So I was going to say, with the point that Sean made, it's really important as well, because sometimes you could have that stepping away. The one thing I failed to mention, it only occurred to me after I'd finished speaking, is the reason why it's so great to have the right people around you. Sometimes that time off could end up becoming you procrastinating because you're not sure. And I agree with I think I can't remember who said it. Sorry.
JJ, sweet. You can't be sorry for JJ playing around. He's having fun.
In the background. Oh my goodness, sorry.
We love the background, everything. We love
Yes,
it.
my tiny child. He's an appearance, debut appearance. So it's really important that we think about having the right people around us, because sometimes when you take that break, sometimes it's through frustration, and you, without realizing, you end up in procrastination mode, and it's really important that you have the right people around you to be able to pull you out and keep your focus moving forward. And as Eny said, that could take 30 years. But even if it takes that long, the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, it takes a certain amount of self-belief to get through that mile, right? You really have to have that self-belief. And if you don't, there has to be somebody around you, with you, on board with you, that will ensure that you reignite that self-belief that you once had. And I said before, not everybody may have that person, but ultimately that's what happens. You have to really take that belief in yourself, because you did that. You bet on yourself to begin with. You had that self-belief to begin the journey, to create that thing, and to journey through it, and to get to the point of now you're almost at the destination and almost at the end. You have to continue that self-belief. But yeah, that's what I want to say. Thank you.
I totally agree with you. Welcome, Jay. Jay says, keep pushing through. The last 3 feet could be where you find gold. That's the truth, Jay. That's 3 feet. There's a lot happens in those last moments. William, you're back. You're here, and not the new one you just came in, but I can see you on screen. Oh no, I got the new one. Okay, William, let's try again. Yeah, there you go. You're clearer. So please finish that. So you tell us about your conference, right?
Yes. So I just want. Yes, I want to say
hi, William.
hi.
Go. Oh no, Christiana made him freeze. It's Christiana's fault. I'm joking.
Eny, I've sent across our topic for Thursday.
Okay. Now
it's all about men, by the way.
Excellent. He says, yeah. I'm scared, but we'll get there. No, men are part of the miscarriage conversation, right?
Yes, and grief. Yes, men and grief.
For sure. William, we've lost you again. So Crystal, welcome, Crystal B. Super all-star, super coach, and a truly good person to get to know. Connect with Crystal for sure. If you haven't connected already. And when I say connect, my friends, always do meet each other. Right? Do meet each other. How you doing, Crystal? You're driving. And people who drive tend to worry me, right? Because I think you're gonna fall off soon. Now, talk to us, Crystal. Then I'm gonna go to Cyrus after you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually on my lunch break. I saw that you guys were live, so I thought I would jump in and say hi. And because I haven't seen you in a while, and I do love you.
Yeah. Sean says howdy, Crystal. I'm sure you know Sean, right?
Oh yeah, we've done some stuff together. He's a great guy. I love his mindset stuff, and his story is amazing. What he's overcome.
I agree.
And his book is really good too. I actually worked through his workbook, his mental health workbook. Even though it's not like geared towards men, it does work for women as well. It was really actually very insightful.
Yeah. No, look, and again, there's something like Chris has said a little bit. But there's a lesson there. That she read Sean's book. I'm thinking it was in the process towards the end that you read the book. Oh, no.
It was about a year ago actually that I did, and it was a lot of mindset changes and figuring out a lot of stuff within myself, and it really did work. But I was also combining that with my work with Jen Lin and some other stuff, so it's kind of, I put together pieces of all of the different like mental health things together and found what really worked and helped get me, to take that last step with writing with doing my anthologies and breaking the imposter syndrome that I had in my mind of, I'm not worthy of doing all this, So.
Okay, so tell us more. Now, of course, I said I know you're doing many big things. How do you know what comes up in the last mile for you, and how do you get through?
Okay. In the last mile for me, like when I published the anthology, it was pretty stressful. Annie, about this, being, working in publishing, having to figure out the right order and everything. And my biggest thing was I didn't want to let my writers down. The project was so important to me, and that's what kept me going, was knowing that this is important to me and to my readers and to them, giving them their voice. And that was what pushed me over that last mile, and the support that I had from my writers and my team. Sharon Byrne, especially, like, she really was very supportive. She didn't even write in that anthology, but she was very supportive and really helped me behind the scenes when I was struggling in that last mile of getting it published, getting it formatted, and everything. So having a really good support team really is what helped push me in that last mile of getting it done.
Yeah,
I really do feel that way.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think that's many of our friends who spoke today, they were explaining that they talked about the support group, your support team, your support people around you to support you, and I think that always matters, right? It does matter. And look, in case anyone missed it, Chris has given us the answer, which I know is the answer, right? You see, when we do this our bold idea, there's a why. Christiana mentioned the why a lot earlier. Why are we doing this now? Who are we here to help, right?
Yeah.
We need to revert to that in a real way, not theoretically. Saying that Chris is looking at how authors. That's why those who do anthologies, we care about our readers, but we don't really. Now our co-authors they are our customers because they pay the money. I'm not going to hide it from you. So they're the ones we have to focus on. I'm saying that when you focus on your customers, you find the energy. You find the last mile becomes a joy because you realize until you get to the end for them, there is no end. So that's the lesson for all of us today, my friends. Crystal, thank you so much. Now, if you want to, thank you. You're a star. Thank you for joining us. As Sean says, he appreciates you reading the book, and it's true that you got so much from his book. So, thank you, Crystal. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love you, Eny, and everybody. But I'm gonna go eat my lunch. I saw that you were live, and I loved the topic, so I wanted to, and I saw the link, so I wanted to jump in, support, and say hi, and send my love. Because you know me, Eny. If I see you, I try to join if I can. I keep promising, but I'm always at work. You happen to be live during my lunch break, so I love you enough. I took 10 minutes out of my 30-minute break to join you. You should feel very loved right now, Eny.
I do. I feel blessed. I really do. Thank you so much. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy your lunch. Thank you so much. Bye,
Thank
Crystal.
you. Bye, guys.
Mr. William, we'll try again. Now, your internet's beating you up today, right? But you're still playing the game. the last mile. You are pushing through. Please talk to us. So we're going to say you're doing your conference for your book, right? Your conference for No Human is Useless.
Yes, I wanted to share this story. Yes, I want to share this story so that I could empower and give people hope that they can actually do whatever dreams that they have, it can become reality. January, when I had this urge to run this conference, I had absolutely nothing. I had no means. I just had the idea, and anytime I woke up, it really hits me from within. All right. And part of the reasons why I wanted to do this conference is I was seeking for paid speaking gigs. I was trying and it wasn't coming, it wasn't happening. So I said, why don't I create my own event so I can get to speak on stage and then get to choose who I want to come on stage with me. So these are the two reasons why I wanted to do this conference. And I had nothing. All right. So then I decided to start creating flyers, speaking to the right people that I know, who knows my story. And I go like, hey, I want to do this. And funny enough, when I told them, they were like, cool, we can do it. So I set up a crowdfunding campaign. And then I had donations, $10, $20, few dollars. Then I woke up one morning and I see $1,000 inside the campaign. So I checked out who actually did that. And it's somebody I never knew from anybody anywhere. Somebody come across haven't chance done before. So I reached out to him and say, hi, sir, thank you so much uh, for the $1,000. It's really going to do a lot. And he was like, William, don't thank me. I saw your post and I couldn't have just passed this amazing thing you're doing. No human is useless. Every human needs this. And in Pakistan, where I come from, people go through a lot. And so I can't just out to me, and I'm willing to a stranger, here in Gaia, and been up hotels, auditorium here in Ghana, and I have people flying in from the US and the UK to come and share a stage with me for the No Human is Useless conference in September. So I just want to share this, that it was just a dream in January, September. So everything when you want, don't think about how the help is going to come.
You muted yourself. Someone muted you, William. Yeah. Carry on. Don't think about how the help's going to come. Yeah, I think you're back again. So please carry on.
And I want possible because it was only a dream in January, and we are in May, and I've secured everything.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It is. I think we're back to Dr. Yvonne's point. Believe. We have to believe. Truly believe that's going to happen. Now, but look, William, you took steps. You didn't just believe. You took steps. You've done. You've done things. I had a friend of mine. messaged me out of the blue one day recently, and he's like, Eny, my brother's in the hospital. He needs a brain operation. I need money. Right? I said to him, how much are we talking? And of course, he gave you, thousands. And everywhere in healthcare is thousands. I said to him, do a GoFundMe page. He's like, no, I'm not gonna. No, I can't do that. I'm like, But let me tell you, I say no. I say that because you've done the go. No, you go. No, we've got to do what it takes. That's my question in my title. What does it take to go the last mile, right? Now, what does it take? Because it takes something. It's not just doing something. It takes going above and beyond. And sometimes you go reach out to people and say, I need help, right? Look, saying Cyrus, Jasmine, and he said, I spoke to Jasmine because she was supporting this friend of mine in Nigeria, right? I said to her, do we go from, and she did. And he said he had 1,000, close to what you had. I think when I saw it, I had £1,400, something like that in there. I'm saying, right. And she was so happy because that saved his brother's life, literally, right? Now, so let's take our pride, our ego, from asking for help. So it's part. Sometimes all the things that have been said, Zara mentioned that God being here to help you. I think in the comments I've seen, the power of the supernatural. That might be what we need. That might decide when and who and how. But literally, we can take those steps, and God is not always going to do it for us. Right? Let's be sure. God will tell us what to do, and when God tells us, we have to learn to listen and go and do what we have to do. Right? That's the answer to half our problem. The solution that we'll talk about today. Now, thank you so much, William. William, I might come to Ghana, but yeah, let's talk later. Let's talk tonight.
Eny, let's go.
I'll call you after. No, because I want a video of me talking on stage, right? I'm talking to Africans. That gives me joy. Christiana, if we're going, let's go. Okay, fine. Let's do it. So William, we'll talk and we'll make it happen, right? I'm excited. I haven't been to Ghana before, so it's that's Nigeria, I think. Yeah. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge later on today, William. Christiana, if you're coming, let's go. Why not? Cyrus, it's your time. I don't know why you keep falling off when you're in the UK. Cyrus, talk to us.
Hi, can you hear me, Eny?
Perfectly, my friend. Perfectly.
Hiya. I love your rooms. It's just full of talent and fantastic ideas. From Sean to Zara to Christiana and many other amazing people. Dr. Yvonne, I just want to thank everybody for sharing. And Michael, of course. Sorry if I missed any names there. When I joined the show a while back when people were talking about burnout, I was thinking, but for me, burnout is not a matter of what, it's a matter of whom. Why am I thinking that way? It's because burnout doesn't happen to everybody. Burnout that doesn't happen to everybody. Burnout happens to some people sometimes, and to some people all the time, right? So to me, burnout is exhaustion affecting your vision. When you look at the finish line and you're seeing double or triple, I don't know, you're so tired you can't see clearly anymore. Exhaustion affecting you. Most of the time, burnout happens to people who are pursuing somebody else's idea. They don't even know they are pursuing somebody else's idea. What do I mean? What I mean is, they see something on Instagram, they fall in love with it. They see something amongst their family or friends, they fall in love with that concept. They see an author, they want to become an author. They see an athlete, they want to become an athlete. They become an athlete when in reality, their first love is becoming a painter, right? But they have suppressed that feeling, and because they go after popularity, right? Or they go after, this will pay dividend in the future. I will make a lot of money out of it. It's fashionable. I know people who made money out of it, right? So that is when you pursuing somebody else's ideas. Very unhealthy, by the way. I've done it, and I don't recommend it. I've done it in the past. Also, so when you're doing it for someone else, like when you're working for someone else, you're working for someone else's company, yes, exhaustion affects you. But when you're doing it for yourself and out of love, you don't feel exhaustion. Okay, so for the past 5 years, 6 years, I haven't been feeling burnout, whatever that might be. I used to feel burnout when I was working for someone else, but since I started working for myself, no, I don't feel it. I work for what I love, and mostly people feel burnout for 2 reasons. One, they feel like, oh no, my idea is going to die. And number 2, I'm not going to get what I want. So 2 reasons mainly, right? My idea is going to die. So let me remove one of the problems, and then you'll be left with one, okay? So your idea is not going to die. Don't worry. Somebody else is going to do it, okay? Somebody else will push it past the finish line. And here's some news flash for you. So, at this moment in time, thousands, but perhaps millions are already doing your idea, the one that you feel like you're too tired to finish. They are doing it already. They are making millions out of it. Okay, so please do not worry about your idea dying. Ideas never die. And reason number 2, you won't get what you want. Okay, so perhaps it's time to sit down and rethink what you want. If it's something you really love, if you're absolutely in love with it, head over heels. If you're absolutely in love with it, go after it, and the burnout won't affect you. Perhaps you need to watch a couple of these amazing people on the stage and off the stage. Just copy them, copy what they are doing, and try a few more ways. If it's not working, try a few more ways. Thinking that it's not working it's just nonsense. It's pointless. There's no such thing as it's not happening. What really is there is that you haven't found a way yet. Okay, do not quit. Whatever you're doing, do not quit, because you haven't failed if you haven't quit yet. Okay, so please do not quit. Whatever you're doing, rethink, re-strategize, and you will win. Trust me. And some people say, "Oh, it's because of negative feelings and negative thinking." Negative thinking and negative feelings are a really good thing, you know. They're the same things that gave us car alarms, airbags, the vehicle brake systems. You know, somebody was thinking negatively and then they did something positive out of it. So it's not the mentality, it's not the thoughts, it's what you do with it, really. So, so if you feel you at the end of your tether, just copy someone else. Just get ideas, right? And I'm going to finish on this short poem I wrote a couple of days ago. If you don't copy, you're silent, you're broken alone. If you copy one person, you're a plagiarizing clone. Mimic 5, that's remixing. Now you found your tone. You'll be a king or queen, sat on a throne of your own. Keep going, guys. Don't quit, please. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Awesome, Cyrus. Really nice. Seriously, there's much there. I will definitely come back to much of what you said, but I agree with you. I think, you know, it's easy to feel exhausted unless you have that love. I'm going to talk tomorrow in my Being Your Authentic Self business room about what's love got to do with it when it comes to business growth. You know, so I'm with you totally, Cyrus. I think if you don't love what you're doing, if you don't love your solution, if you don't love the people you're here to serve, you are doomed.
I didn't make money between 2019 and 2014 from Whisper Boy. Many people asked me to quit and stop it.
Yeah, no,
I didn't.
Never quit. Look, I think the solution to our problem is easy. It's easy, right? You know, look, I think the Mimic 5, that's a magic number. I'll come back to that in a second. Christiana, I'll come back to you in a second too, of course. Look, give me a second, give me a minute. No, it's less than a minute. So let me show you a video quickly. Then let me give you my solution to the issue as I see it, right? You know, so, my zero account software just logged out. Oh well, I'll find my money. You can't keep my money. I need my money, right? Don't really ask me what I want my money anyway. Let me show you a video quick, and then you begin to get an idea. So it's only 40 seconds long thereabouts. So here goes, my friends.
If I'm running on a treadmill and I get to mile 9 and I get complete cramp in one of my legs, and I know I've told myself I'm going to run 10 kilometers today, he goes, I will have to limp the last mile, even if no one's watching, because I can't let the demons in. And if I let the demons in, they'll show up in the 11th round of a championship fight when there's 50,000 people watching me in the audience. And I know deep in my self-story that I'm the type of person that quits when things get hard because I got off that treadmill at mile 9 when no one was watching. It would modify my self-story. The commitments we keep to ourselves and what we do when no one's watching is the most persuasive evidence that governs everything we then do every day thereafter.
I tell you, isn't that the truth, right? It's what you say
That's
when
beautiful.
when no one is watching. That really counts. So that's one step in our solution. But no, so here is Christiana. I want to let you speak before I go into my preaching for a second for a few minutes. Then we'll wrap up. Christiana, what do you want to say, please?
So, first of all, Cyrus is always a lyricist. No matter what you give him, he does something with it. I completely agree with when you get to the 5th. Here's the thing. It's so true. Watching the video you have just watched, I think the point I'm trying to make is that what do you do? Remember I said when you stop and you have the right people around you, ultimately you've got to believe in yourself. Believing in yourself also includes what you do when nobody else is checking in on you, when nobody else is asking, nobody else is chasing, nobody else is challenging you. Is you challenging yourself behind closed doors, because ultimately you have to live with yourself. Nobody else is going to live with you, and nobody else knows how you think, how you process, unless they are very close to you, perhaps your spouse, your partner. Even they don't always know everything that you're thinking and you're feeling. So it's really important that we think about it. And it's true what Stephen Bartlett, I believe who's in the video, is what you do behind the scenes. And by the way, I'm a big fan of him too. It's what you do, is how you still keep going in the moments that you really can't, in the moments where you are at risk of burnout and real burnout. As Cyrus mentioned, that's the thing. You've got to find what is it that keeps you going. I know in many cases people ask what's the why, and I mentioned this earlier, like why did you start this whole journey in the first place? And what is it that's causing you now to almost give up? Where is that feeling of giving up coming from? Is it your environment, your surroundings? Is it people? Is it a word in your ear that's knocked you off? And find within yourself, answer those questions, and more than likely what tends to happen is you eventually actually do get to finish that mile. A little bit like, I don't remember who mentioned the marathon aspect. When you're running, yes, people are cheering you on, but ultimately, why are you there running the marathon in the first place? What is it that's going to get you to the finishing point in the midst of you having injuries? And injuries, when it comes to writing, are the shiny objects that come in our way, the obstacles and the naysayers and everything else in between that we tell ourselves. So why is it you're there? How are you going to end that journey? How are you going to get through that finishing line at the marathon? And that's more than likely how we get through the last mile.
Totally agree with you, Christiana. Genius there, my friend. Michael, I'm bringing you up as well. So, look, now, so I think that you've covered, everyone's covered now, between everyone, we've covered the issue, the problem as I see it, as it is. And it's not as I say, just as it is, right? Look, here's how I want to leave conversation today, right? You see, here's what happens on our journey to our bold idea, to our solution, to creating something that we're going to create for the world, right? We spend so much time and energy on creating the solution. Whether it's a product, whether it's a service, we spend so much time obsessed with the solution, which is good. It's not a bad thing, right? No, but the solution is the what. Christian, I'm building on what you were saying just now, right? See, here's where we don't spend enough time. And here's what catches us in the end, friends. So what catches us in the end is the why. The why and maybe the how, right? Because for our solution to work, we know we're going to need people to buy our solution, to take it on, and to change their behavior, change the supply, change the solution that they're using now, which is not working. Hence our broad solution, our broad idea, right? We need to understand and design for the target audience. We need to design for how they're going to engage with our broad idea. Now, rather than just focus on the what, our problem, there comes a time in our journey, my friends, where we must stop thinking about the what, because we're doing this for so long now, we know what it is. What cripples us is a fear of they want to use it, they won't like it, it won't work for them. That's what really kills us. And see, whether we like it or not, we think this in the back of our head. As we're doing, we're thinking, oh, it's gonna another month of this, and I'm gonna put it out there, and they won't like it. That's what kills us. That's when our energy drains from us. That's when our motivation dies. That's when our hope goes out the window. Sarah said, we know we're not going to get what we want because no one's going to buy this thing that we've created, right? So let's focus on the audience towards the end. In the last mile, focus on the audience, not yourself, right? Look, how do we do this, my friends? The way we focus on the audience is by simply making sure your board up here that's aimed at improving people's lives actually begin to get into people's hands and minds, right? Begin to share with them what your broad idea is. There's social media. There's ways of engage people, get them to. Crystal mentioned reading Sean's book in process. I'm saying that's how you get to the end. You get your customers to use your product. When they love it, you're energized. Then you're like, wow, they're gonna. I have to finish it because they're gonna love it so much. It's about them, not about you, right? Focus on how you're gonna improve people's lives. That's the answer to the last one. Those who can focus on the people that they're here to serve always get to the end. Because despite all the problems, despite the fears, despite the problems, no money, despite lack of skill, despite not having the business behind them to deliver this thing. Now, as Zara mentioned right at the beginning, right? Delivery is a problem. Well, focus on delivery, but that means getting out to people. It means getting your products and services in people's hands. You see, the people who are left out of our creation process are the customers, my friends. Why don't you work on co-creating with them? Again, everything that's been said, we talked about change, being willing to change, being open to, believing in yourself, right? But look, let me tell you, if you co-design with your clients, Sarah's mentioned 5. Put your product, your solution in 5 people's hands. Let them feel it. Let them use it. Let them benefit from it, and then see what the response is. Yes, my friends, you might have to change and improve your solution. They might say to you, "This is crap. It's not working. It's not going to work for us." Is that the end of the world? No, because now you can adapt. You can create a better solution. You can change and modify your solution to suit people's needs. And believe me, for anything you create, different people, the different communities, Black people, white people, Asian people, I'm saying, people with disabilities, people, men, women, they're going to have different needs, right? Dare to go and ask them. Dare to involve them and say, what do you want? What's going to work for you? How are we going to make this work for you? That's the answer. See, that's what motivates people to go the extra mile. That's what gives you the new drive to carry on. That's my answer. Right? Now, collect user data, use the user data, identify problems in your solution, and fix them. You see, now, I'm back to Michael's point earlier. The end you thought is not the end. that your solution is going to be. The end is the real end is what your customers say the end is. What's going to make them buy your solution? It might mean fixing you. It might mean fixing your solution. It might mean doing better marketing. Sorry, people. You might, but in that journey, you might, in that last mile, you might find new opportunities, new ideas, new solutions. That's the answer. Anyway, I'm glad I got it out in the end, right? I'm happy now. My friends, you're all still here, so please, now I wonder what your thoughts are. Talk to me. Now giving you my solution, which brings everything that everyone said today together.
All right. Before you do that, I just wanted to say, hello, Christina. Hello, Zara. What's up, Cyrus? Oh my gosh. Man, I'm his favorite fan, that guy. And that is all I wanted to do when I came off here, is hang out with Cyrus, give him a high five or 10. Yeah, I like what you said. Of course, I didn't pay too much attention to it, but nonetheless, your presence here is all that matters, period. So, when you finish your book, let me know so that I can be the first one to buy it, and I am just gonna be ecstatic. I got bragging rights right there just by being the first person, and I want it. I want it. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I gotta say. Everything that I've already said before about the subject is good.
You can be the first to buy it on launch day. Never buy the book before launch day. I know Cyrus may probably sell it for less than it's worth, but wait for launch day because it's bestseller. I'm sure it's part of his plan and his thinking.
I don't care how much he sells.
I'm not writing the book to sell it because I don't want to die a poor man. I'm not gonna put selling a book as my strategy. That's a strategy to get rich.
Yes, but think how your book could transform small businesses.
No, honestly, what I'm writing it for is to hand it to my daughter because she's going to be managing my business after me. So it's a handbook for her, but I'm going to share it with the world anyway.
Excellent. No, I mean that. Listen, what you have here is people who will read your book before it goes out to them, in the last mile. Cyrus, people who actually do that. Michael will read your book and give you feedback. I'll probably still buy it after when you improve it and then make it what he wants. I'm saying, Christian,
I may give your daughter some competition too, because now.
Right.
Anyway, I just wanted to say when I was writing one of the chapters, I think it was chapter 24, chapter 25. I did some research, right? And this is really funny. If you really want to, I mean, it's funny, I'm practical. If you want to really find out what kind of person you are, right? And for the past 5 years, what kind of social media you've been consuming, because you consume data, right? This is how I get to know people. I sit down with people and in their house, on their mobile or whatever, I get them to show me YouTube videos, right? But
I'm waiting, Cyrus.
but before this is how you can know your partner as well. Like how have they been behaving behind your back, or how they've been thinking, right? So this is a window into people's heads, right? Get them to show a YouTube video, but don't let them. So once the first one is finished, don't let them skip the goddamn ad. So when you do that, keep it in mind. Watch 5 to 6 seconds of that. Get them to show you another video. The next ad and the one after that and the after that. That, if you put them together, it gives you a window into that person's personality and mentality. Because social media is nothing but an algorithm that gives you more of what you've been doing, right? So if you're a person who's into, I don't know, vehicles, into sports cars, your advertising is always sports cars. If you go to Instagram, whatever you follow will comprise the adverts that you're going to see in the near future. So that is one of the branding strategies I've included in the book. And obviously, once it's published, you'll see the full picture. Thank you.
Cyrus has lots of steps, lots of advice steps that we can all go through for better.
That was phenomenal, Cyrus. That was phenomenal. Awesome.
I love the fan club. I really do. Christiana, go on, please. Christiana, what do you want to say?
I'm laughing. You should see my husband's one. I've already done that, Cyrus.
Listen, I'm blessed with having a mom and 3 sisters, and they have taught me a lot of things. And as a man, I am proud of the ability that I am capable of thinking like a man and a woman, and that has given me the opportunity to open a window into both a woman and a man's psyche. And we have weekly sessions with my family, and we exchange ideas, and branding is normally the center stage.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Awesome.
So my friends, I'll come to you for your minute, I guess, conclusion. So I still want to know what do you think about the concept that I'm sharing today, which is that your customer's experience must be the mark in your creation. It must be. If you factor that in, you are set for glory, because now you know what's really going to make them buy your thing, your solution, your bold idea. Without that, you're floundering, and you're at risk of where everyone else stops, which is when they get that fear that they won't like it, they won't buy it. I'm not going to get what I want, and it's not going to work. That's the evil of the last mile. That's a hole we're trying to avoid, really. If you don't ask your customers, you're going nowhere. Whereas if you ask them and you involve them, co-create with them, use the last mile as a whole new game where they get to critique, they get to experience, and they get to give you the ideas to make your solution what they really want. That's the race of the last mile, not the rest. Whatever you've been doing only takes you that far to that starting line to start the last mile afresh. That's the what if room, right? So I'll let you think. Sean, people, everyone loves the easy life, don't they? They really do. Entrepreneurship is never easy. Bringing a new idea, new solution is never easy. It is, because you're asking people to do something called behavioral change. You're asking them to stop doing what they've been doing and to do what you want them to do with your solution. That's entrepreneurship. And selling an idea on people without getting their thoughts, their views, their feedback. It's almost doomed to failure. But it makes your journey harder. Sarah, please, you can have the mic, my friend. Give us your take, and then we can tell. I'll go around the room, and then we can call it a day. Zara, please, don't mute yourself again. So there you go. It's up yours.
Amazing. I was watching an interview. His name is SG, Salim Gauri. He is running a company here in Lahore with over 8,000 software engineers working for him. And do you hear me, right? Okay. So he was sharing something about customer retention, okay? And somebody asked him a question that how do you keep up with your clients? And he was saying, like, he has one of the top-notch customer like Mercedes as his client, and he is retaining that customer for over a decade. I said, how do you do that? I said, like you said, Ernie, it's not about them, it's about you. But because of this era, if you have heard about this news that Microsoft have removed 6,000 employees 13 hours ago, this news was on the air. So people have to change lots of things because we have like huge organizations, software houses here in Pakistan. So the CEOs, they have to change their goals at once when they saw this AI revolution that is going on. So the point is, how did they retain that customer for over a decade? Like Mercedes. So he said that we always sit together and always found solutions together. It's not like that we are going against them. That's why we have the best customers like Mercedes with us. So thank you, Annie. It was an amazing session. I learned so much about how to take your bold idea to the next level, you know.
Thank you. You know, co-creation is a thing, you know, so we need to learn co-creation. That is where the answer is. That's where our money is. I think that if we go with Cyrus's pen, a power of 5, that's enough views. Like, and if anyone's wondering how many do I talk to one person? Do I talk to two? You know, I'm saying if you aim for 5 people who are in your target audience and you co-create with them, your solution is almost guaranteed to be a bestseller. And not just in books, I'm saying in services, right? Because it will really work, as Sarah just said. That's by creating solutions together. That's the answer of making your bold idea work. Without that, I don't know where you're going. Who wants to go next? Who wants to give us their thoughts?
I think I'll go next because I've got to go.
Please go for it.
You wanted the last one, I suppose, last minute final thought.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. There is burnout, which is real. There is the fact that life happens as you write this, whether you're writing a book or whether you're doing something that involves customers, audience, clients, bringing something to life. And let's not forget that when we begin this journey, it's that thing of something that was in your head, to bring that on a piece of paper and give it life is already an achievement in itself.
I agree.
And I think sometimes we forget that. We forget that as a creator or an inventor or whoever it is, or whatever it is, a writer, you took something that was in your head and you were able to lay it on a piece of paper that became visible, right? That became this living thing, a living, breathing thing. Yeah. And along the journey, along the way, some at some point, you lost all of that. You lost the art of, you know, the joy you felt. You lost the journey, the purpose, you know, your audience. And I do agree, your audience helps you to get to the finishing line. And it's important to get them involved in that final process. I mean, along the way, from start to finish. I'll give an example. Most people don't know this about me, but I design shoes, sportswear, footwear. And along the line, when you begin that journey, I began with going on foot and really taking to the streets, taking to shopping centers, do my survey to ask people what they want to see and do all of those things. I involve the customers at the very beginning and throughout the process and towards the end. Okay, now that's still in process, that's still in motion. The reality is you have to continue to bet on yourself because you had some self-belief at some point to begin the journey, and you can't forget that which you had at the start. The final thing I'm going to say is really making sure that you have the right people around you at that final mile, whether that is whether that means, sorry guys, whether that means your audience or a trusted friend or a coach. But in that journey, where you find yourself stuck, don't do it alone. Surround yourself with the right people. And yes, take advice and then decide which one you want to take. Because that's another thing as well. We take advice sometimes that we end up beating ourselves for. And that further prevents us or almost derails us from getting through that mile and the finishing line. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
It's more than 2 cents, isn't it? There's many pounds in there. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing so beautifully today. The fact that you and I wrote into going to Ghana, now that's a bit worrying, but we have to work on it, right? We'll talk later.
That's not worrying. I'd already spoken to William to begin with. I just didn't mention it to you.
Okay, no one told me. Okay, all right. I'll work it out with my wife and kids. Anyway, I think that, look, involving your target audience, your customers, your people you want to serve for your solution, is challenging. Let's be honest with ourselves, right? It's challenging. It's no, because they're going to have ideas and needs that you've never thought of. I'm saying you have to be open to that. That's where having someone else to give, a coach, someone other people to talk to matters, right? And you do have to learn and get better, whether you like it or not. You're not going, you're not a genius. If you were, you won't be where you are today. I'm saying if you were if you knew everything and could do everything, you would be where you are today, right? So right now, those other people's views, the feedback, the support, ideas that we get, those matter, right? Let's learn to take them on board. But we do have to grow and evolve in the process. We must learn. Otherwise, we're not going to get there. I always say, you have to think like the person you want to become, so you can become that person. That's the truth. Thank you so much, Christiana. Michael, I see you were muted. What's your final take on that conversation today, my friend?
What you said earlier regarding
Sorry.
customers.
Take care, guys. So nice to see you
Christiana,
here.
before you go, please, Christiana, before you go, please don't leave. I have a surprise for you.
Wow. Okay. I'm
All
gonna
right,
hang
I guess
out.
it's
I'm
time
gonna
to
be
be
in the
quick.
background, but I'm doing something else. Okay.
That's all right. This is an audio room, effectively, right? You know what we look like, Christiana, so it's all right. You can look away, but as long as you're listening. Until Cyrus comes back on, then you have to come and listen and watch whatever it is he wants to show you. Go on, Michael.
So the thing about the customers that you're talking about, the people that you think about, the reasons why you did this, and going back to the beginning, the genesis of starting the solving the problem that you're trying to solve, or you're coming to a conclusion in solving. That is foundational and certainly needs to be part of your package in terms of getting across and getting the extra mile. I do agree with that, and I believe it's something that you should keep emphasizing every time you go through process, every time you come through a hurdle. That is something that will get you over the hurdle every time. And if it does not get you over the hurdle, it means that it's not strong enough, and you need to build it, make it stronger, so that you can get better bounce from it when you get out, when you try to attempt a hurdle and go over it. So yeah, you're right with respect to that, Eny. And yeah, everybody else that had a say, I fully agree. And in conclusion, have a great evening, day, night, whatever the condition is in your place right now. Thank you.
No, thank you for joining us as well, Michael. Thank you for your amazing shares always. I think into that, the way you say it, as if involving people is like common sense, foundational, you call it, right? I think, look, the thing about common sense is that it's not so common, right? In other words, everyone will do the right thing. It is a problem. So we need to make emphasize it, like you say, Michael, and make sure that people begin to think more of the customers. Maybe not customers is the wrong word. The people you're here to serve is the thing that I'm really talking about. They're the ones you really want to make sure you are addressing all the way. If not all the way through, because we have this habit. Think of your friends. Think of when you create something. I say we create in silence, but there comes that moment, the last mile, where you must face the world with your solution. Bring it out, and I tell them. Some people will tell you, don't tell them what you're working on. No, tell them what you're. Now tell them your solution that you're creating. Eventually, you have to tell them. So that, like I say today, starts a different part of your journey. It's the last mile in your journey, really. Many people think that creation is the solution, is the last mile. That's the end. It's not the end. Until your customers get on board, people want to serve, get on board, start using your solution. You don't really know, right? That's the point. Tell it to your friends. Cyrus, I'll let you do your thing, Cyrus. You want this on stage?
Yes, please.
There you
Thank
go,
you.
Cyrus. There you go, mate.
Hi, everybody. If you just joined, I dedicate this song to you guys, especially Christiana, because she believed in me from day one, and she likes my lyrics. So I dedicate this song to everybody, especially Christiana. And thank you so much for listening, guys.
Thank you,
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
When your fears are gone, what remains is you, true and steady through and through. Between you and your dreams, there's a door called fears. Walk through with a cool smile, not streaming tears. When your fears are gone, what remains is you, true and steady through and through. Between you and your dreams, there's a door called fears. Walk through with a cool smile, no streaming tears.
So yeah, I just wanted to play that bit. When your fears are gone, what remains is you, true and steady through and through. Between you and your dreams, there's a door called fear. Walk through that door with a cool smile, not streaming tears. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Cyrus. Thank you. See, I said lyricist.
Thank you.
Every single moment is a new beat to your drama. She's success with global.media.com and celebrating with or without champagne or rum. She's success with global.media.